Did Anthony Mackie deliver? Absolutely. Did the movie really, really, really make a whole lot of sense? Not really. I'm not gonna lie. I don't necessarily think so, but we will definitely talk about it. One thing I know for sure is that it definitely did not warrant what I believe to be like bombing, or that thing they do, when people just don't like something and then they decide, you know what, I'm gonna ruin this for everybody type thing, or I don't like the idea of it. Therefore, it must be terrible. So let's go ahead and let everybody know how terrible it is before we even see it type thing. You know how that happens sometimes. So I thought that this was interesting, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this. But recently, when the movie actually hadn't even came out yet, these statistics came out, and I just was like, really? Check this out. So evidently on Rotten Tomatoes, the comment's still up there. All right, evidently on Rotten Tomatoes, this came out earlier this week. Look at the date on it. That's February 12th. All right. They were already rating Captain America as the second worst project from Marvel. Now, I want you to take a look at the first two projects and tell me what it is that those two projects have in common that are over 50%
the first one
on the
has bad writing, but they have Black people, and that's everybody's problem. Because how dare?
I mean,
how dare? But I want to preface this conversation with the green scores are from critics and not regular viewers.
True.
And
Okay.
Critics, for some reason, are so hung up on everything needing to come to Endgame. And like, we're not going to get Endgame again.
Right.
Like, let it go.
Yeah. I agree with you, Nolly. There is like a sense that some folks are like, listen, here's the best work you presented, and if you can't make something that leads that gives us that caliber, then it's not even worth pulling up. But let's still go through what it is that you all thought about it. Let's revisit this. So, Nolly, just to kind of bring this back up to the forefront, I believe it was Lisa for you who said that you were pleasantly surprised. You want to tell us why?
Yes. So if y'all watched the show when we talked about Captain America coming up, I was probably one of the louder people that was like, I don't think Anthony Mackie could carry a Marvel film as the lead. Just because, like, after watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, it worked because it was TV, but I didn't know how he would translate to big screen carrying a whole movie by himself. Sorry, I apologize, Mr. Mackie. I apologize. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was worried because marketing focused so much on Red Hulk that it was going to be the Hulk of the movie, and I'm very glad that it wasn't. And it felt like the original Captain America movies, not the first one, but it felt like second on. Like, it was good enough that it was a good. It wasn't like it wasn't a story changing movie. It was a story bridge building movie. So it was going to lead to other things. They needed this movie to set up the next couple of steps, and they did it well. It felt like someone went into the kitchen and found Marvel's old recipe book and was like, you know what? I haven't made this in a while. Let me try that. And it felt good to know that we're not losing recipes, because this felt like the Marvel that we got before that we knew to grow and love, not the Marvel post Endgame where they were cutting corners and using AI for shit and not hiring good writers. And like, it felt like people were working on the project again and not just outsourcing everything that they could. Like, this felt like effort, not great effort. I will not say that it was an amazing movie, but it was good enough for me to be like, maybe we're heading in the right direction.
I like that. I like that analysis.
I also want to big them up for doing good at tying in the original Incredible Hulk films into the current. they did a very good job of like, because like even the villain, I did not anticipate who the villain was going to be, especially since it was someone who had minimal parts in the original Incredible Hulk series. So I was like, oh, look at them. The math is mathing together.
That's crazy. Yeah, they kept the original Betty from
Yep.
when Edward Norton played Incredible Hulk. They tried to keep the spirit of General Ross. You see the one quick clip with Harrison Ford with the mustache. That shit was so
They
awkward.
did their best.
Like that don't belong on your face. What is that doing? You saw it trying to slip. Like I'm trying to get used to the new look. It's like, nigga, we ain't never gonna see unless Harrison Ford gets picked up for the next Yellowstone. We're not gonna see this no fame. But anyway, I'll agreed, Nolly. Very good, very good. Now, Ty, you also had some feelings about the movie, and you, according to the comments, said that salute for our Cap. So, why do you say in this particular instance, sir, that this should deserve a salute, please?
Well, first I want to definitely give flowers to Anthony Mackie. You guys know here that I've always been like a true fan of a lot of his work, and a lot of time when I feel like he's getting unjust hatred, I try to defend the dude because I feel like he's not gotten a fair shake, and a lot of it has to do with his face for some reason.
Agreed.
100%. But this was it was a breath of fresh air for me. First of all, the action sequences were phenomenal. He did an outstanding job in those fight sequences. And I think he really became the hero of the show of the movie, and I felt like he was consistent in his role throughout the movie. And I also noticed that he executive produced this movie, which I think he also realizes that a lot of times maybe he says too much. And if you notice through this, he wasn't doing that. Like there was like a couple of parts where I was like, all right, don't start that. And when he said wait for it, I was like, all right, don't start that shit. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like it was like little certain things, but then as the movie went on, like I started seeing that his parts when he had dialogue were to the point and enough. He didn't go overboard. He wasn't overacting or doing anything that would be egregious in that situation. But as an overall complete project, and his first leading role in the Marvel universe, as far as having this opportunity to be on the big screen, he did not disappoint. And also
Right.
shout out to Isaiah Bradley, who is a phenomenal actor in itself. Listen, when it comes to playing scared to go to jail, I ain't never seen nobody as scared to go to jail as Isaiah Bradley was. And look, when that dude said I ain't going back, I believe
Yeah.
I was like, this nigga about to kill everybody. Like, this movie is about to, and I wish they would have let it happen. That movie would have been great. Man, I'd have been like, oh my God, this is crazy. But nah, this the supporting actors, what's his name? What's the young man that plays Falcon?
Joaquin.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name.
I don't know his real his name is was Danny Ramirez. So Danny Ramirez, he really stepped into his role, given his opportunities. He shined on screen. And just look, man, this is a movie I would suggest you go see. They made it their business to show that the transition has happened. There's no longer thinking Chris Evans is Captain America. In the MCU, Anthony Mackie is Captain America. Nobody called him Falcon. Despite the one racist shit that what you call it did when he called him boy. I was like, boy, are we doing that right now?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
But outside of that, everybody else showed him the respect that Captain America and the Shield weren't. And I thought that was really dope. The military was like, yo, look, that's our cap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as the movie went on, I started to realize, look, this dude is representative of more than just America. He's representative of Black America. There was a point in the movie when he said, and I know you guys all caught this, when he was like, yo, it's sometimes you I know it's a struggle because you just want to you want to feel like you enough. And it was the way he said it. It was like he said it with this contention. Like he was just like enough. And I was like, ooh, that felt very Black of you, sir.
It didn't just feel Black, it felt directed to the critics, right?
Absolutely.
It felt like it was a line that was picked out the movie specifically, just kind of like how they did with She-Hulk, where She-Hulk would like address the critics a year ahead of the release. Like they knew all the hate they was gonna get. It was like they put that line in there saying, like, look, this dude is enough. Like, you shouldn't have to be Chris Evans or some blonde-haired, blue-eyed motherfucker just to be able to hold the shield and be Captain America. So 100% agreed, Ty. 100% agreed. Were you finished? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. The only other thing I wanted to add is thank you, Marvel, for listening to your fans and just hiring better CGI people, because I'm gonna be honest, the Red Hulk did not look bad. I was looking at it like, all right, I can dig it. I can dig it. This is not She-Hulk. You know, I was impressed. I was impressed. Good job. Good job, Marvel.
Yo, why? Okay, we said that. Why Marvel can't do that for all their shit?
Well, obviously
Why?
they say
Why?
Okay.
Was they saving the budget just for this? They were like, if we give them good CGI, they'll go see it. Baby, I'm trying to see everything. Why you can't spread the budget?
You know what? I think we should do some investigative journalism to find out why it is that they go to the Dollar General for the CGI for She-Hulk, but then go to Nordstrom and Macy's and all that other stuff.
You want people to see this shit. You constantly talk about how, oh, we're trying to be superhero fatigue. Nobody has superhero fatigue. We have fatigue for half-ass shit. Just pay the artists, stop cutting corners, and people will big up the projects and go see and support them. But y'all just want to worry about how many yachts you can own. Ooh. And let me tell you, you can't buy another yacht if you're not putting out the content for people to support, because you're going to keep losing money and you're going to keep pouring money into projects that aren't going to pay off in the end. And then you can't buy your other yacht and pay for your baby mama on the side and your secret mistress with the other child. Like, so for real. Give us the good content. Pay the people. God damn. You don't even give them health insurance. Just pay them. Please, I beg.
Wow. Okay, Nolly's cooking right now. I all right. I'm cooking some eggs off of that heat, man, because she's throwing fireballs to the plate right now. And I can't disagree. Like, there's no reason for Marvel, who's owned by Disney, which is probably some of the richest corporations.
The mouse got money. You can't tell me the mouse is broke.
There's no reason to shortchange anything. But allow me to get into my little spiel here. As my comment that someone suggested for me, as I agreed with it, was, I'm just glad it didn't suck. And I'm not gonna lie, that was felt because when I'm watching it, yes, I was happy as hell that the movie wasn't terrible like the recent Sony releases, which I tried to give a chance, but ended up getting a headache and hoping that I would fall asleep amidst them. I was happy that this actually was able to string together a cohesive plot that not only was good from start to finish, but incorporated other Marvel movies that are in the MCU, i.e., as the prior referred to the Incredible Hulk movie, in which we got original Betty, which I thought was interesting. Like, of all the people that we're going to kind of use as a tie-in, we used Liv Tyler from Edward Norton. I thought that was interesting. You know what I'm saying? And the whole necessity to kind of make that. Now, I have critiques. You know, obviously the comment says I'm glad it didn't suck and not it was the best thing ever. And I'm going to tell you what my biggest hangup is. I'm going to tell you the things that I like, the things that I didn't. The first thing that I love, obviously, is Anthony Mackie, as aforementioned, did deliver. The dude killed it. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, we could talk about whether or not you would have liked to have seen Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa in this movie. But listen, everybody ain't goddamn Aaron Pierre. Everybody's not Denzel. Everybody's not going to be some green-eyed, blue-eyed. Everybody's not going to be a heartthrob, so to speak. But that doesn't mean that they can't hold down movies. So, yes, we appreciate Anthony Mackie kind of representing for what I would call an average Joe to an extent. Yeah, he works out, but, yo, he's not model-esque. Let's keep it 100. He's got cheeks like Dale and Chip and Dale from the Rescue Rangers, all right? I like old boy, but here's where they went wrong, bro. Please don't give me the entire movie in the trailer. I should not go to the movie and see some of the main aspects of the movie already and have I seen them already because I watched the trailer. This is why I do not watch trailers. And I'm going to keep it real, y'all. I didn't watch trailers. I didn't even watch trailers. I saw like the first one maybe, but then I stopped. I was like, nah, I get it. But there was so much emphasis on Red Hulk, in my opinion, so much in the marketing that it almost spoiled the movie, in my opinion, because the overwhelming. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out to anybody who hasn't seen Incredible Hulk. I mean, excuse me.
Wow,
right?
wow, wow.
Probably should have brought this up here before.
Probably, yeah.
My bad. All right, but yeah, we gonna talk a little bit about this right here. So that was my big hang up. That's why I was like, all right, it didn't suck. It was good. And I'm glad Anthony Mackie has been re-solidified as a leading man, because I'm not going to take away the flowers I still think he should get for Spike Lee's She Hate Me. I'm sorry. I know everybody don't know that, but Spike Lee's She Hate Me.
That's one of my favorites.
Kerry Washington, where he plays the sperm donor to lesbian couples, is one of the best concepts I've ever seen. And if you ain't seen it or heard of it, if you think Anthony Mackie can't act, you need to go see that movie. I don't know why I want to. What did you just put?
You know Zoe. You know Zoe's also. I think Zoe Saldana's in that as well. If I remember correct, I think she's the girlfriend. I think she's the girlfriend of the one he fell in love with, which was hey man, it's that was it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, She Hate Me was dope, but I do believe that the Hulk, with being in all of the advertisements, being mentioned, and even advertisements where he wasn't even necessarily like clearly the draw here was the Incredible Hulk, was Red Hulk. And that was a little bit disappointing to me, because I just am of the belief that if your movie is so strong, if you have a really good movie, then I should not see any of the climatic scenes in the previews. And that's why I don't watch previews, because previews will give away the whole movie. And I'm too analytical. I'm just too analytical to not sit there and try to so if I see a preview and I see Red Hulk, I'm like, okay, well, there must be a bigger batter. Maybe Abomination has this can't be where the movie is centered. And so that was where I was a little bit disappointed in seeing that, okay, the movie is kind of centered around, the Red Hulk. Yes, there are other villains and there's other people that they fight, but ultimately the big thing, in my opinion, y'all tell me if y'all think I'm wrong, was that Red Hulk was in the movie and he sucked up the whole climax. What's up, Ty?
Yeah, because I'm hearing you, and I don't want to because it's almost sounding a little bit negative. Like, I know you don't mean it that way, but it's almost sounding as like it's negative, and I don't want to even put that out in the atmosphere, because for the simple fact that you have to also understand that Anthony Mackie is the one superhero within most of the movies that we've seen that come from the MCU that has no powers. He literally has no powers. And for him to hold down this leading acting role in the MCU, which we know is a superhero driven platform, to be able to hold it down with no powers and make a successful movie, I'm glad that they only had the Red Hulk, because if you start adding all of these other super powered individuals, you take away from the fact that Sam Wilson has no powers. They even alluded to it where he was like at one point, man, I should have took the serum. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like if the serum would have been right there in front of him, he probably would have took it at that time. And you as you watch the movie, you're like, there's many moments where you're like, dang, you probably would have fared better if you would have had the serum in that situation.
Yeah.
But somehow, and I'm not even gonna say somehow, I'm gonna stop saying that. What I'm gonna say is what they describe Sam Wilson as being. Sam Wilson is the guy that never gives up. Sam Wilson is the guy that will go the extra mile when everybody else gives up. Like that is what made Cap and Steve Rogers choose Sam as the next Captain America, because he never would give up. And when you see him in this movie, that's what you see. You see a guy that won't give up on his friends. He won't give up on what he believes in. He won't give up on the country. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude, like despite all of the negative aspects of what goes on in America, this dude sees the best. And he's like, look, I want to make sure that at the end of the day, like we start moving the needle forward. I don't like the idea of us just being on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So and a lot of that was addressed in this movie. And again, Anthony Mackie is the right guy at this point. He is our Captain America. We need to accept that and move on expeditiously to the next point in this story, because they did pick up on a lot of the stuff. You mentioned that they brought Betty back. Why did they bring Liv Tyler? Well, you do know that Samuel Stearns also was from that same movie. That same guy is in the original Incredible Hulk movie. So they probably would have brought William Hurt too if he hadn't died. He died, unfortunately. God rest his soul. But he's the one who played Ross in that Incredible Hulk, Hulk series. So that that's i.e. enters Harrison Ford. So my thing is, this movie is a really good movie. It gives Anthony Mackie an opportunity to show you his acting chops. He does not disappoint. All of the necessary villains in this were good. And I just think that cut my man a little slack, man. The Red Hulk, them showing that in the trailer is to get people excited, because a lot of people had this bad taste in their mouth about Anthony Mackie. So yes, it was a selling point. Yes, but once you get to the movie, you'll realize that Anthony Mackie is enough. He is enough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad to have seen this movie, man. I'm happy for him.